Hi, first grade. Today we're going to keep working on our nonfiction text strategies. Today we're going to think about how we can make our reading aloud sound like we're experts. And we do that by pointing out the key words as we read and talking about them as we teach our topic to others. So to do that, we need to first read our book, and when we see a key word, jot down the key word on our sticky and then write what the word means. So that is step 2. And our third step is we need to write why it is important. So why is that keyword important when we're talking or learning about our topic? We're going to practice together today with the book that we read yesterday. We're going to look back at our book, What Can Live in a Grassland? But today when I get to a keyword, I'm going to stop, jot down what the keyword means, and write why that keyword is important. We're only going to read a few pages of the book today. A grassland is a habitat. It is where plants and animals live. Well, I've already decided that habitat is a really important word from some of our other lessons. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to write down what a habitat is. A habitat is a place where plants and animals live. But why is that important when talking about what I've learned in this book? Well, the reason why it's important is because a grassland is a habitat, and we're going to be talking all about the animals that live in a grassland. So you can see on my sticky, I wrote the word habitat, I wrote the definition, and then I wrote why it was important to the book that we are reading. Let's try with another one. Animals have special adaptations. These help them live in a grassland. What do you think the important word on this page is? Yes, adaptations. What's an adaptation? Right, an adaptation is a part of an animal that helps them to survive. Why is the word adaptations important when talking about the animals that live in a grassland, which is the topic of this book? Yes, it's important because animals that live in the grasslands have adaptations that help them live there. So again, on my sticky, I wrote the word, the definition, and then why it is important for this book. Let's try one more. Bison have flat teeth for eating grass. Their thick coats keep them warm during winter. I know that this word coats is important because I remember that they say it a couple of times in this book. I don't want my audience who I'm teaching about the book to get confused that I'm talking about a winter coat. What is an animal coat? Because an animal coat is its layers of fur. Why is that important for this book? Great, because the animals have coats that keep them warm when they live on the grassland. So I wrote that on my sticky note as well for why it was important. Now, the reason that we're writing down why these words are important is that when we reread a book to our audience, we mention what those keywords mean and why they're important as we read, so we really sound like an expert. So watch me reread and stopping to talk about the key words. So our book today is What Can Live in a Grassland? A grassland is a habitat. Well, a habitat is where plants and animals live. That's really important to this book because we're going to learn about all of the animals that live on the grassland. Animals have special adaptations. These help them live in a grassland. And animals' adaptations are things that they have to help them survive. The animals that live in the grassland have lots of special parts to them that make their life in the grassland easier. Bison have flat teeth for eating grass. Their thick coats keep them warm during winter. Now, an animal's coat is its layer of fur, and animals in a grassland need thick coats to keep them warm. Readers, did you notice that the second time I read that book, I stopped and I talked about those important words and I gave some more information about why they were important? It really made me sound like a grassland animals expert. When you are reading today, that's going to be your job. You're going to mark important words and what they mean and why they're important. And then you're going to read your book, and as you read aloud to someone at home, explain those important words as you're reading so you sound like an expert. expert. Have fun reading!